You wanted to see me, Mr. Peterson? Jenkins, yeah, come on in. Listen, the system in Toledo is down, and those fools have no idea how to fix it. I need you to go down there and get the system back up and running. Okay, but it's Friday. By the time I get there, they'll be closed for the weekend. I told the manager to have someone meet you and be ready to help for as long as you need. Peterson picked up a notebook and tore off the top sheet. This guy will meet you at the back loading dock and let you inside. I took the note sheet and slipped it into my pocket. I'll go home now, pack a bag, and then head out. Great. I know I can count on you. When you get back, we need to discuss your future. I have big plans for you after Morrison retires. I smiled at Mr. Peterson. Thank you, sir. I look forward to talking to you. Good. Now get ready and head out. I turned and walked quickly back to my desk. Mark, he's sending me to Toledo, so you'll have to cover me for the rest of the day and for any emergencies over the weekend. My coworker nodded. Of course, there's hardly anything going on today, so I can handle it. It sucks that you have to give up your weekend. I'm sure Amy won't be thrilled. Hurriedly heading to my car, I called my wife, Amy. Hey babe, Peterson's sending me on a rescue mission to Toledo. I'm heading home to grab my bag and hit the road. Dan, tomorrow we're having a picnic at my parents' house. We're supposed to spend the weekend there, remember? My brother and both my sisters will be there with all their kids. Shit, I'm sorry, but it can't be helped. I gotta go. Peterson asked me to do it. I'm really sorry. Yeah, I bet you are. Well, the kids and I are at the mall buying new swimsuits, so I guess I'll see you Sunday night. I started to apologize, but soon realized she was done talking and I was just talking to myself. I sighed, alas, things haven't been good between us lately, and now she's really mad at me. We just can't seem to take a break. Between my work and the kids' activities, we hardly ever have time alone together. We haven't had intercourse in over 4 weeks, and now that she's mad at me, that's not likely to change anytime soon. Maybe if I get Morrison's job, I can cut back on my overtime. I pulled into my driveway, parked, and hurried inside. I grabbed a small suitcase and loaded it with a couple days' worth of casual clothes, grabbed my toiletries, and headed to my car. It's usually about a 2-hour drive to the factory, but I got there just in time to avoid traffic on a Friday night. Work hours were well past when I pulled into the empty parking lot and headed towards the loading dock. Once parked, I pulled out the paper Peterson had given me. I sent a text message to Sam Matthews to let him know I had arrived. I walked to the back door and rang the bell loudly. It took a couple minutes, but the door finally creaked open. Hi, I'm Sam. You must be Mr. Jenkins. I stared at the woman who spoke with my mouth hanging open. Sam was about 5 to 7 inches tall, with a mop of dark red hair, green eyes, and an impressive torso, nicely accentuated by a round neck, long-sleeved t-shirt. She smiled radiantly at my confused look. Let me guess, you thought Sam was going to be a guy? I nodded. Yeah, that happens all the time. I just never liked Samantha, so I was always called Sam. Sorry for the confusion. No, it's okay. I held out my hand. I'm Dan Jenkins. Nice to meet you, Sam Matthews. She led me back to the back room at the far end of the warehouse floor. As I followed her, I couldn't stop staring at her shapely, firm ass swaying back and forth. Thankfully, I averted my eyes as we approached the door, and she quickly turned to speak to me. I'm sorry we had to page you, Mr. Jenkins. I've only been working here for 2 months, and Mr. Fuller is on vacation in Europe. I tried to reboot the system but kept getting error notifications, and then the system would shut down again. Please call me Dan. Is it okay if I call you Sam? She nodded, and her beautiful red curls scattered around her cute freckled face. Okay, Dan, do you have any ideas? Sam, this system should have been replaced a long time ago, but management doesn't like to spend money on new equipment. The system can be pretty finicky and sensitive to power fluctuations. We had a big storm here the day before yesterday and it started snowing. All right, let's open it up and see what's going on. The system was the controller for all the automation units in the warehouse. When it came out, the conveyor stopped, the picking robots died, and all the inventory screens went out. It had been a state-of-the-art system in its day, but its heyday was long past. This was my 3rd visit to Toledo in the last 5 years. If I get promoted, I'll lobby for an upgrade. We worked through various parts of the system trying to find the fault. It wasn't a difficult job, but checking each partition for failures was time-consuming. Newer systems had test ports, and some were completely self-checking, but not this old system. After a couple hours, I heard Sam's stomach rumble. She grinned. I worked through my entire lunch, and now my stomach is complaining. Do you want to order a pizza or something? Sam. Sure, I can always go for pizza. I love pepperoni, but I'll eat anything except anchovies. Ew, no fish for me. Pepperoni's my favorite. There's a place down the road that delivers groceries here all the time. I'll call them. We worked until about 9 o'clock. We diagnosed a couple of problems, but I knew there were more to discover. Okay, Sam, let's call it a night. I'm exhausted and I haven't even checked into my hotel yet. Sam stretched, which was quite spectacular, and said, Yeah, me too. Sorry, I need to call a cab. She pulled her phone out of her back pocket and started tapping the screen. Wait, I can give you a ride home, no need to call a cab? Really? Cabs are a bit slow here, so if you don't ask too much, I'll take you up on your offer. No problem, where do you live? I usually stay at a hotel off I-75. Great, my apartment's close by, so it's a bit of a detour for you. We chatted about what we did today and what we might need for further testing and repairs. I followed Sam's directions and we pulled into a very nice apartment complex. Wow, they look pretty nice. Are they new? Yes, brand new. In fact, I'm the only tenant in my building so far. It might be a little messy, but would you like to come in and take a look? I looked at my watch. It was almost 10 p.m. No, I'd like to look at it, but I'd better get to my hotel. You want me to pick you up in the morning? I'd like that. My SUV is at my brother's and I won't get it back until Sunday night. I'll call you when I'm on my way here. Say 9 o'clock? She put a gentle hand on my forearm and squeezed it lightly. Thank you so much. I called Amy as I entered my room. I'm sorry to call so late. It's been a very long day. I guess I'll be back Sunday night. Anyway, the kids are already asleep, so good night. She's passed out. Fucking hell, she hung up on me. I grabbed a $5 bottle of beer from the minibar and plopped down on the bed. I knew she was upset about me leaving, but it's not like I had a choice. What the hell did she expect me to do? I had a restless sleep, but I managed to get up when my alarm clock rang. I called Sam and she was standing outside when I got to her apartment. Holy shit, she looked so good. She was wearing leggings and a short, tight t-shirt. We worked most of the day and finally got everything running correctly. I ran some additional tests and everything checked out. Sam was a big help and I was pretty sure she could handle any new problems. So are you going back tonight? No, the whole family is away for the weekend at my in-laws, so I think I'll be back tomorrow. Great, will you let me buy you dinner? You know, if only as a thank you for showing me how to keep this ancient system up and running. No, but I'd be happy to buy you dinner because I have an expense account, I said and laughed. She agreed and we went to a local steakhouse and had a delicious dinner. She insisted and we ended up sharing a nice bottle of 19 Crimes wine. We drove back to her house and I agreed when she invited me to come over for a nightcap. She opened another bottle of wine and we sat down on the couch. I excused myself and went into the bathroom to call Amy. The phone rang a few times and I thought it would go to voicemail, but she answered. The kids are playing with their cousins and I won't bother them. I just wanted to say goodnight to them. No. She disconnected. Holy shit, she hung up on me again. What the fuck? I called her back, but this time the message went straight to voicemail. I took a deep breath and tried to pull myself together. I splashed some cold water on my face and took a few more deep breaths. When I got back, Sam was sitting on the couch. Are you okay? I sighed. Just trying to deal with an angry wife. She wanted me to be at her parents' party, but the boss sent me here. Apparently, she's been unhappy with me for a while, so now I'm really unhappy with her. Oh, Dan, I'm sorry to hear that. Doesn't she realize this is just part of your job? I've tried to explain it to her, but she doesn't want to hear it. She's just angry and she's shutting me out. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be talking to you about my family problems. Maybe I should just go. No, please, I want you to stay. Let's have another drink and talk about something else. She grabbed the wine and filled my glass. So, you know about my problems. Well, what's going on in your life? Oh. Well, there's not much to tell. I broke up a long-term relationship about 3 months ago, moved here and went to work in a factory. I guess it's kind of a new chapter in my life. Would it be too intrusive to ask about your breakup? No, my boyfriend, who I dated for 2 years, took a job in Alabama, and I have no interest in living in Alabama. He took the job and just assumed I would move there with him. He had a week to make a decision and never bothered to ask me what I wanted, so we broke up. I'm sorry, it must have been hard to let him go, but at least you weren't married and thinking about 2 kids, I said with unnecessary bitterness. You're right, we talked about getting engaged, but I'm glad we didn't. I had no idea he could be so self-centered and inconsiderate. I broke it off completely and now I'm in a new place with a new job. Well, that's exciting. Have you made any new friends? None that I was interested in until yesterday when you showed up. Sam quickly brought her hand to her lips. "Oh God, maybe I drank too much wine," she said, blushing. I grinned. "Sam, you've made this trip a lot more bearable. I've enjoyed your company the last 2 days." I smiled at her beautiful face and she blushed again. She set down her wine glass and moved closer to me. "Dan, I've been very lonely here for the past 3 months. These last 2 days have been the most fun I've had in all that time. I know it's wrong, but I'm very attracted to you." Then she leaned over and kissed me. I know I should have pulled away, but I didn't want to. Her lips were soft and she smelled like lavender. I ran my hands over her arms and pulled her to my chest. She responded by kissing me hard and running her hand over my shoulder and through my hair. Her mouth opened and her tongue found mine. I slid my hands down to grasp the edge of her shirt and pulled it off over her head. Her hands began unbuttoning my shirt and then moved to my belt. In a few moments we were naked and I was kissing her neck and sucking on her soft skin. "Please, Dan, please, I need you inside me." She spread her legs and guided me down. I slowly entered her and felt her heels pushing me forward. We connected completely and she moaned deeply. Yes, that's what I need, oh God. It feels so good to have you inside me. Please, Dan, harder, harder." I thrust into her and her hips rose to meet mine. She hummed softly as we slammed into each other. "Oh my God, oh my God." As soon as I could breathe, I kissed her gently on the lips. "Sam, that was fantastic. Oh my God, Dan, I needed that so badly. Oh, thank you. I was so afraid you'd reject me." She kissed me hard and hugged me tightly. Slowly, reality began to return to me and I sat up on the couch. I looked at this beautiful young woman as she came up to sit next to me. "Sam, we shouldn't have done that, I'm sorry." "Shh," she pressed a finger to my lips. "I didn't do anything I didn't want to. We're just two exhausted friends who needed some comfort. Thank you, Dan, for giving me a piece of yourself. What happened here tonight will stay just between us." It was a one-time event, and I'm glad it happened. I hugged her and she asked if I wanted to stay. I knew that if I did, we would make love all night long. I reluctantly got dressed, kissed her goodnight, and went to my hotel. As I lay in bed, guilt overwhelmed me. I had cheated on my wife. I was angry at Amy, and I was horny as hell, and Sam wanted me. God, it felt so good to be desired by a beautiful young woman, but this was wrong. Shit, what am I going to do now? On the drive home, I ran it through my head. Should I tell Amy and apologize? If so, when should I tell her? She's already very angry with me. This would certainly drive her to the edge. Maybe I should wait and tell her after I get promoted and our life gets back on track. But then, wouldn't she blow up because I kept it from her and didn't tell her right away? What if I just don't tell her? Can I do that? Can I keep it from her? Would I be able to deal with the guilt? But what would happen if she somehow found out? She would be crushed, just as I would be crushed if she did this to me. I pulled into my garage, grabbed my bag, and went inside. Amy was standing in the kitchen, leaning on the countertop. I dropped my bags and walked over to her. She looked up at me and a tear rolled down her cheek. "I'm so sorry. I treated you so badly. I should never have used the kids to try to hurt you. It was wrong on all sides. I told my mom what was going on between us, and she helped me realize that I was being selfish. Oh, Dan, I love you so much. Will you ever be able to forgive me?" As she spoke, I stepped toward her and enclosed her in a hug. I stroked her and kissed the top of her head. When she finished speaking, I held her at arm's length. "I love you too, baby. Let's just forget this weekend ever happened and promise each other to never talk about it again." Her beautiful face brightened as she nodded in agreement. I picked her up in my arms and carried her to our bed. "The kids are staying at my mom's, so we have all night," she said with a wide smile. It turned out we had all night and all morning because I called and Peterson was happy to give me the night off. It's been 25 years since I lost my way, and I never did it again. We never brought up that weekend or my trip, and although I still get remorseful from time to time, I'm glad I didn't tell her anything.